gas racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
We've eliminated it down to just 12 drivers now in the playoffs, and season number 5 continues to impress. Some familiar names and some new names. Some drivers that were at the outside looking in for 16 have eked their way into the 12. Live here tonight in Loudon, New Hampshire, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series live on V-Speed. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Lynn's Heating and Air Conditioning 166 in the playoffs in the round of 12. It's the first round I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Alex Gagnon. And Alex, we've talked a lot about this playoff format, and that's what they've ran all the way through every Cup Series. But the four-time champion, he's barely made it in again. You have drivers like Justice Murphy that were hanging on to the edge of this top 12. Man, a lot to unpack here before we go racing for week 29.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. It's been a crazy season, and just by that evidence of it being race 29, and we still have a lot of work to do to get to the end of this season. You see the round of 12 graphic on your screen. Right now, Jeremy Burns, Travis Gilbert in a pretty good spot to try to move on from the early going here. They built up a considerable points advantage on the rest of the field. However, the distance between Carter Linz and Trevor Keith, that is only 11 points from 3rd down to 12th. So you really need to get your round 2 kind of going here in a hurry tonight at New Hampshire with how stacked up most of the field is here.
And Jeremy Burns, of course, his dominant performance through the regular season, 9 wins. He's been a little stagnant here the last couple weeks. It was a quiet week last week at Bristol. I think he recovered to a top 10, but he didn't lead any laps, and I think he wasn't in the top 3 at all during that race.
No, not really. And it was just one of those efforts that you really need to kind of grind out the best finish you can, even if you don't have the best car, which was very much the case last week. And we'll see if that continues here into tonight. Jeremy Burns, the reigning winner here at New Hampshire after coming back from a staggering 4 laps down. I know the field was not thrilled with that last year. They have an opportunity to right that perceived wrong here tonight.
Take a look here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway over June 5th, 1990, up in the New England states. 1 mile, the magic mile as it's been come to known, and 7 degrees of banking. We say 2 to 7 because, well, there's parts of this racetrack that you can drive on that really isn't intended to be driven on. We've seen drivers cut down to the apron, especially through 1 and 2, and get an advantage off the corner. I'm interested to see if that works here tonight. It'll be a very greasy racetrack, though, 90 degrees, so that'll make it a little bit harder for these drivers to stay down there on that apron. But if you're willing to test it, if you were practicing it throughout the week, some of these guys will be willing to do it and take it 3 wide off the corner. We saw that in the Cup Series race where drivers did that on a restart, and I believe it was Brad Keselowski 4 wide, hit the inside wall. That was so close coming through there. So it's definitely doable in the real-life counterpart. I don't see why these guys won't try it here tonight. 151 laps. I know I just said it's a magic mile, and this is the 166, but it just fit too well for Carter Linz. So 45 mile per hour pit road speed limit, 5 tire sets available, 2 green-white checkered attempts, stage at lap 35. That's important here for these playoff format drivers, and 50% fuel on our iRacing fixed setup. Let's go trackside and get that Pole Award up on your screen. The Coastal Financial Pole Award. And these guys keep coming to play. They're going to try to right that wrong. Like you said, Coastal Financial Pole Award goes to Trevor Keith in the top spot. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. It was a quick lap time of 29.3969, and it's Dakota Floyd starting to his outside. Jeremy Burns and Tyler Harrison goes to row number 2. It's Kyle Stewart and Carter Linz, the sponsor of tonight's race. They'll start in the 6th position. I don't know if we're going to get through all of these here, so Travis Gilbert, Alex Forget, Berube, and rounding out that top 10. Why don't you take him green here, Alex?
Thing is they are getting ready to round the corner. Pace car going to peel off. Rest of the grid going to tick by here on the opening lap. As Trevor Keith, Dakota Floyd ready to rock and roll here in New Hampshire. Green flags in the air. We are racing in the round of 12.
Trevor Keith leads lap number 1 by a long shot. It's almost half a second. Jeremy Burns back here, 0.7 of a second. He got around Dakota Floyd just now. And a car off the track. I think that's Justin Ritchie down on the inside.
55, significant damage. Looks like Rob Rader around as well. 2 cars caught up here on lap number 2. They were off the racing line, so iRacing says no caution. But take a look at this. 55, 53 get tangled up. Initially with 55 of Ritchie goes sideways, and then I think Rader caught a bump trying to get back onto the racing surface. And that car spins a loop as well.
They were 3 wide there with Dylan Picklesheimer on the outside. I want to look at this one more time from the kind of the nose camera. As you see, the 55 locked it up and got to the outside right there. 53 on the inside, and just a slight little touch there. Not intentional there from Rader, but he hit that bump, sent the car sideways, like you said, Alex. No harm, no foul, really. It looks like maybe a little scrape on the front end, but he should be okay. Thank goodness we have a stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big saving grace for both of these drivers, is they are both in our round of 12 contenders. And that's certainly not the way you want to start it. They're certainly going to be losing out on potential stage points here. So this is just a matter of trying to keep the car in one piece, get yourself to that stage, get back up into the mix, so you give yourself a chance at the end of this thing. As we see a little 3 wide here, Alves, Johnston, and Reed. Oh, they barely got that sorted coming off at turn 2. Johnston falls back just a hair, now double wide between Reed and Alves in 3 and 4. And they are really duking it out here just outside the top 10.
Not too often you see 3 wide work here at New Hampshire, especially as close as that was out of turn 2. It usually works on the entry of the corner, but you better sort it out before you hit the exit.
Yeah, and that's how we run into that issue we saw a moment ago with Ritchie and Rader. It looks like they were able to get it sorted that time around, but certainly easier said than done at a track like New Hampshire. It looks wider than it actually is. You know, you have all these lanes in the corner, but all these racing lines kind of deposit you into one spot coming off the corner. You see more 3 wide, Picklesheimer and Richardson with Stewart up high, trying to get this thing figured out. Picklesheimer down to the apron. He's going to try to reel in Dakota Floyd. Dakota Floyd's a car who's going the wrong way in a hurry here in the opening going. Started up on the front row. He's down to 6th now.
Maybe saving those tires, but I mean, this is stage racing, so you have 35 laps to maintain this top 10. If you lose it before then, well, you don't get stage points. So I think if I was Dakota Floyd, I'd be pushing a little bit harder now at this point. 8 laps in, I think you've saved enough. You want to try to maintain 6th or higher. Talking about those points, and it's oh so important. Just as important as finishing the race, a stage victory or a stage top 10 is really what you want, especially if you're in the top 12 in points right now.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, Bennett's around back in turn 4, the 14. Or sorry, that's going into turn 3, I believe. The 14 of Michael Bennett got really slow through 3 and 4. I think he got turned around. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I just happened to look up, and he was basically stationary in the middle of the corner.
Looking back on an instant replay here on V-Speed, and this is maybe just after the math there. Let's watch here with John Fike. A little bit of lock up on the tires for Fike, and into the 14. He's sideways. I didn't think that'd be enough to trigger a caution, but iRacing thought so. Nothing else on the racetrack, I don't think.
To get a perfect sense of how iRacing deems what is and isn't a caution, just compare the situation with Rader and Ritchie, where 2 cars are fully around and parked off of the racing line, versus what happened to Bennett there that did bring out the yellow, which is a car just slightly sliding and skidding off the pace here in the racing line. That was enough to bring out the yellow. And I think that gives you a really good side-by-side comparison of what to expect on when iRacing will or will not put out a yellow flag here. But opening caution of the race here on lap number 9. Find ourselves now on lap 10. Trevor Keith has led every lap to this point, and after a really good restart there, Bradley, he kind of just sailed away from the rest of the field.
Did a fantastic job, and it was actually Travis Gilbert, Carter Lenz, and Tyler Harrison that got by Jeremy Burns. Burns has worked his way up into 2nd position, but fell back to 5th. kind of like Dakota Floyd there. I think they were maybe a little conservative with their tires on the initial run. And I think now with around 20 to go, it's all offense from here. Just, you don't want to spin the tires. That's the main concern now, is with the 10, 11 laps on these tires, they will spin. And especially on that inside, when you go into turn one, it's really easy to lock them up.
Yeah, and that danger only amplifies the further they go on these tires. So even if it's not necessarily a major issue here, definitely something to keep an eye on. They won't have to worry about coming down pit road really until the stage. They have enough fuel to make it to the stage break here, but really something to keep an eye on for later this race. If we start getting some longer green flag runs and then there's a late restart where cars aren't taking tires, things are definitely going to get a little dicey.
Line back up side by side. iRacing pace car will get out of the way for the second time today. Trevor Keith electing to start on the outside with Travis Gilbert, Tyler Harrison, Carter Lenz. Lenz up 3 spots. Gilbert up 5. Biggest mover, Michael Reed, up to 9th. Into the top 10. Here we go. Magic mile. Let's see if it brings some more action. Does the 15 of Trevor Keith get a great restart? Yes, he does. Into turn 1 by about half a car length. Excellent restart for the 15.
Yeah, had a good launch at the start of this race. Another good launch there. Tyler Harrison going to take a peek to the high side around Carter Lenz. That's that battle for third just behind the Gilbert machine. More cars 2 wide, almost 3 wide for a second, but a lot of cars still trying to sort themselves out here as Richardson goes all the way up there. Yeah, he thought about going 3 wide.
Didn't quite work, though. It's hard to get that throttle off the corner. You could see that darker paved section and the inside, and that's not so much like J11 or grip strip or whatever you want to call it. It's more so just fresher asphalt, and it does grip better than the rest of this surface. So that's why I say a lot of these drivers go down there on that apron. That was part of the racetrack that was freshly paved before the rest of this turn, and drivers are using that to their advantage. There was tons of grip down there. No one had even really thought of doing it, and it was kind of a staple, especially back when this car was first introduced, because it is so aerodynamically dependent. It can take that corner. It's a sports car.
Yeah, in more ways than one. As you see, we jump on board here with Dakota Floyd running in that 5th position. Gets you a little bit of a sense of the onboard here at New Hampshire. New Hampshire, an incredibly flat track and not a ton of banking in the corners here. Only gets up to, I think they were saying, what, 8 degrees or so. So you really need to be sure you are hitting your mark to the best of your ability. You're not going to get a ton of run off here, and it's so easy to want to jump back on the throttle earlier than you're supposed to, and that can get you really out of sorts as a driver if you're not careful. You see Brandon Richardson gets right up to the back bumper of Floyd there for 5th. And it looks like Jeremy Burns continues his slide back here to the tail end of the top 10 now. Is Michael Reed trying to take away 8th.
As Alex Forchette Berube into the top 10 now. Kyle Stewart back to 11th. Justice Murphy, part of our top 12 in points. Top 12 in this race with Kyle Stewart.
Now on board here with Murphy in that 12th position, looking for 11th from Kyle Stewart. Stewart up about a lane and a half here from the 12. Murphy gets to the corner just for a moment. Has to settle back in down the straightaway because he's got a mirror full of Nick Alves, who just stepped out to make a dive here in the turn 1. Doesn't look like it's going to work that time for the 24, but applying a lot of pressure right now to the All About Bugs machine.
A lot of controversy at Bristol a few days ago with the 12. You know, we talked to him post-race. He got a podium out of that finish, or out of that race. And I mean, you can shake it, you can bake it any way you want. Ricky Bobby, shout out to you. This is just one of those guys that needs to win. He needs to be up front. And he was in a situation where he had to perform. And when you put a guy in a situation like that, it's almost like every move they make is out of sheer desperation. They know where they want to be. They can see it right in front of them. And I think a lot of it was not personal. It was more about, hey, this entire season comes down to this one lap, this one move. I can't say the competitive side of me does not blame anything on Justice Murphy for last week.
And that's just the nature of the beast, especially at a place like Bristol. There's not a whole lot of real estate there to begin with. His Courgette's losing it. He's trying to hold on to it down onto the infield area. Looks like he caught it, but is going to lose about 10 spots at track position. Alex Forget had to hold on to it. Looked like he was entering the rodeo trying to wrangle that number 19 back into shape.
And that's another instinct that these drivers have developed after 4 seasons in this car. You have to stab the brakes to save it. At that point, it's facing the other wall and you don't want it to go that way. You have to jam the brakes or it's going to slide that way. 15 laps to go in stage 1. Travis Gilbert has filled up the mirror of Trevor Keith.
And I'll tell you what, if there's any driver who's happy with his round 1 performance, it's that 22 machine who we're on board with now. Travis Gilbert, a first, and a second. In the round of 16, he is definitely catching his stride at the right time here and looking to continue to apply that pressure. He is less than a car length away from Trevor Keith right now. And both of these points going to be huge between these two as they make their way to the stage break. Both of them are looking in prime position here to get some big points. Same with Carter Linz as Gilbert nearly got right into the back bumper of Keith.
Filling up that mirror, I said he's putting the pressure on him. You can see last time by nearly identical lap times between the two of them. Linz a little bit faster by a few hundredths. That's not going to be enough to catch up to these two before the end of it. I think it's going to be down to the 22 and the 15. And I think Gilbert's just waiting for the right opportunity.
They've continued this battle coming off of turn 2. Gilbert just barely grazing the wall there, really using as much of this racetrack as he can right now. And this is the toughest part in these next-gen cars. We've talked about it a lot. When you start getting caught in that dirty air, it's tough to really find that edge that you need to really get alongside and then pass someone, and especially at a place like New Hampshire, where there's not really a ton of alternate lanes you run in the corner. There's kind of the one way around here. It is going to be a particularly difficult pass, I think, for the 22. The 15, I'm sure, are going to be making a really conscious effort trying to keep the 22 in the rearview mirror.
We only have one driver cam tonight, and I want to say I understand these guys locked in and focused maybe forgot about it, but we do provide driver cameras, and Chapman is paying for them, guys, so just a reminder, if you want to get up there. I'm surprised we don't have a Trevor Keith cam tonight.
I'm also surprised. He's usually one of the folks we love jumping on board with. Not the case here tonight for the 15, but we do have a little bit of onboard action with this man here, the 39 of Grant Turner. And we'll jump on board with him. Currently running in that 16th position, up a little bit from where he's qualified on a slow, steady march here, trying to reel in 15th, and then maybe subsequently trying to get himself into the top 10 before the end of this stage. Has some work to do, though. He's about 7 seconds off of the race leader. There's a little salute from Grant.
All right, now do the same thing with your feet, Grant.
Don't know how he's going to pull that one off exactly, but we do have
there it is. I think I just saw it.
There we go. There is the foot cam here for Grant Turner. Shows how active he's working these pedals here. Just because this is a low bank track doesn't mean you aren't working those things.
Some of these guys listen to our voice during the entire race. I don't know how they can do it. I know for me, I want nothing but silence. I don't even like being in a Discord channel with my teammates sometimes.
I just don't know how they could listen to the broadcast while this is happening.
Right.
We run this thing in just about real time, but the key emphasis there is just about. It is a
YouTube's
little bit
delayed
from where they are. Yeah, just because we're running in real time doesn't mean that YouTube's putting it out in real time. It's a couple seconds off, so Not entirely. I mean, I know for me personally, that would throw me off big time. I could do a Discord call if I'm talking with teammates or whatever. It does make me lose focus, but that would also imply I was particularly focused to begin with. I was never a particularly talented racer. I was much better at talking than I was at driving the race car. As you see, the 53 and the 8 here side by side. This is the battle for 9th here. That caution was able to save Raider and Richie, particularly the 53, capitalizing on that in a big way right now.
Yeah, talented race car drivers. That's one of them right there. 53 recovers back to the top 10. He needs all the points he can get, and he's maximizing his circumstance. Got forced 3 wide there coming out of turn 2. It brought out a caution, and he went sideways down the backstretch. We've had another caution to help him recover from that. The other driver that was involved, the 55 of Justin Ritchie. Remember, he's part of this playoff format as well, and fortunately for him, he's in 24th position right now.
He's got some work to do at the moment, buried a little further back in traffic. Luckily for him, he'll be able to bring this thing down pit road and get any sort of damage repaired in just a couple of laps. As we're on board with Tyler Harrison, who was really crowding the mirror of Carter Lins a second ago.
This is Mr. Top 5.
Yeah, the top 4 right now, all stacked up together, is Mr. Top 5 Tyler Harrison, running in that exact spot at the moment. Currently in that 4th spot, and might be able to get a couple more here before the stage.
He has proven time and time again that he just turned it up during the last few regular season races, and he hasn't backed down since. You can see the car's ill handling. It's got some dirty air on the front end, but he's willing to back it up, lose a little bit of ground in the name of not hitting that outside wall. He wants to maintain this position. That's what's so important. Is if he does this every single week, there's no reason he's not in the top 4 in the playoffs at the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, he's been rock solid really since the start of this season. Now, a couple of rough goes at the start of things, but he's really found a good stretch of form lately. And continuing that right now as he currently runs in that 4th position. So we take a look here. That is Rob Rader getting around Jeremy Burns for 8th. So Rader really capitalizing on that caution that came out for the almost spin for Bennett. And Rader is going to be able to snag a couple stage points here, which is huge because he is in that round of 12 and he's in that group of cars that is not Jeremy Burns or Travis Gilbert. And we'll be able to grab a couple extra points here. And you can see just from that shot how much apron he's using to get around 3 and 4. I mean, he is fully 4 tires below the white line.
I knew some guys were going to try it. Here he goes again. Told you, that's the new line. And if you can make it work, it makes my voice crack. I can't stand watching guys go down there because I know how loose that car can be. It is all about throttle control at that point. It's hard enough to get off at turn 2. This guy's doing it lane and a half lower than most of the other guys.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tell you what, that is working right now for the 53. He is cruising as we hit lap 35 here. Pit lane is closed. Next time around, it will be the stage. Travis Gilbert is close, but not close enough. That 15 machine looks like he's going to take it here through 3 and 4.
Yes, it does. Off of turn 4 for the end of stage 1. Trevor Keith in the 15. He started on the pole. He led every single lap. Trevor Keith, stage 1 victory in the round of 12.
And that's about as perfect a opening stage as you could draw up for the 15. He came into tonight 12th of those 12 playoff drivers. Only 3 points below the cut line, but technically scored in that last spot. No better way to kick it off than winning the pole, leading every lap of the opening stage, getting the stage points that comes with it. That's a great start to the round of 12 here for Trevor Keith.
Gilbert, Lenz, Harrison, and Floyd in the top 5. Reed, Picklesheimer, Rader, Burns, and Stewart. So my math is correct here. I believe 6 out of the top 10 are playoff contenders. Does that sound accurate?
That certainly does. The only ones who I believe are out of the playoffs at this point or not actively in it are the 91 of Reed, Picklesheimer, and Kyle Stewart, who was able to reel in a top 10 here in the opening stage.
So that would put us at 7. I missed one.
Yep. Well, I think you said 7. I think you were
Did I
rocking
say
and
7?
rolling.
Maybe 6. I don't know.
I think you said 7.
It's all blending together at this point.
I mean, this is race 29 of the season. We have seen quite a few races here in the Chapman Cup Series. That being said, and this might be a little presumptuous, but from start to finish, I don't know the last time we've covered a series where, by and large, every race of the season has been truly outstanding. I would say this series, this season alone, has had like 12 to 14 genuinely outstanding races already this season.
Yeah, and most of those at road courses, if you can believe that. So.
Including the street course. The street course might be the best race they've had this season, which is shocking because when is the last time anyone's been able to say that when it comes specifically to these Gen 7 Cup cars? Street court racing is awesome
tires.
if it's like IndyCar, and hey, look, 2 tires stop for Travis Gilbert. Who else?
We're not,
Who was it
we're
going
not
to be?
shocked.
No.
We're not shocked at all. Sorry to cut you off there.
No worries. I mean, it was important to call out, especially because if there was anyone who was going to try that out, it was going to be the 22. And while I don't disagree with this call, because I actually think New Hampshire's a place that this is really going to work out well, part of me wonders if he's showing his hand too early here. I mean,
I don't know.
Why do it now versus a little bit later in the race?
We've questioned that before, Alex, and he's come out on top. So whatever his strategy, he's not going to stop it now. We have more coverage to continue of the Chapman Cup Series after our message from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere here on V-Speed. We'll be back with Stage 2 right after this.
Hey, Dad. Did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey, Dad. Did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Welcome back here to our coverage of the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. It's Travis Gilbert on 2 tires for this restart. He got ahead. He's got the track position. Takes it over from Trevor Keith, who was Stage 1 winner. And the green flag is out. We're back underway.
And much like we've seen with Trevor Keith on the opening couple of starts here, a good restart for the 22. The leader seems to have a real advantage on these restarts so far tonight, as Gilbert jumps out to the front. Lynn's in second. Trevor Keith now running in third. It's the first time all night he hasn't been running in the race lead. Curious to see how his car works in a little bit of traffic.
Some 3 and 4 wide in the back of this pack, around 18th position. You just watched the 39 of Grant Turner lose a couple spots there. And Kevin Orlando I think it was Orlando, had locked up the brakes there in the entry at 3, but look at this 27 car. That was another paint scheme that we were told to focus on. You really enjoyed it, and I think, well, let's get a really good look at it.
Yeah,
so who's on that hood?
The 27 tonight, not only sponsored by Racing Rev, it's got a combination of Bobby Hill and Austin Hill on the hood saying, "That's my car, I don't know you." And then on the back it says "Days since last incident," and that's a scribbled in 0. There's a lot of little fun Easter eggs here on the 27 car tonight, as you see.
Diaz sideways.
Oh boy, the 26 sideways in that spot that we saw Richie and Raider around earlier. And just like earlier, there's no caution flowing because he's out of the racing line.
Watch this coming off of turn 2. Mike was using that apron. 26 got loose in the middle of the track, snaps it back towards the center. Good save there. But man, he lost every spot he could there, and now back to last place. Still have 27 on the lead lap, but Travis Gilbert is coming out of turn 4, and his teammate Diaz is just now getting through turn 2.
So we see here as the field goes roaring on by, that's the second non-caution call from the iRacing virtual race control here tonight. Just the nature of the fact that the racing line is so far up on the backstretch that anyone down low tends to not trigger it. But right now, keep your eyes on this man, Rob Rader, up the 4th after that early spin.
That is fantastic how well he's working that inside. This guy put in some race time. I could just tell you don't learn that line overnight. That takes probably a week to figure out. I know a handful of guys that can do it.
Well, you know, doing it once is one thing. You know, it's on the restart, like, oh, I'm going to get down to the apron while I'm out at speed, get to rotate a little bit better. Being able to run that line lap after lap without the car getting unsettled, going from the banking to the flat part of the apron, that is incredibly difficult. As you see, he just dives it in there, works his way back up alongside the 15. Boy, the 53. If there's anyone who's going to be trying to drive to the front here tonight, it very well might be old 4-time here, because he is running a line no one else is running right now. He is getting so much entry speed into turn 1 right now with how deep he's driving it onto the apron, no less. And that's part of the beautiful thing about stock car racing. If it's paved, 9 times out of 10, you're allowed to go down there, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Rader. Keith, though, not giving him a ton of room that time around. He's trying to hold on to that 3rd spot.
This Carter Lenz up to 2nd spot, up 4 positions for the 66. Had a chance to kind of chat with him pre-race there, and you know, he's got a positive attitude about everything that's happened this season. He's one of those guys that he's just happy really to perform every single week and put on a show. You know, when he gets a win, he's ecstatic because there are so many races where he feels like he should have won and something happens. He's kind of got that Rob Rader luck this season. So, you know, put one together there just I believe it was last week, and 66 now looking to capitalize and maybe bring it home again.
Something that's, I don't know if I just missed something, but I think Matt Robinson had an issue last lap. On my timing screen, he just dropped from 11th to 22nd, did the 11 car. He's now back basically at the tail end of the field here. But he supposedly was, oh yeah, there it is. Similar issue coming off of turn 2. Didn't fully loop it, but something here with the 11 got him out of sorts off the corner. We'll take one more look at it. And yeah, just was chasing it.
Instinctively stabs the brakes like we saw with Alex Forget earlier.
And that's part of the reason why that car stayed off the wall, stayed in one piece. But turn 2 proving really treacherous here tonight. But everyone keeps washing down off the racing line, and this continues to stay green. It's not like it's a, oh, you know, we're just going to screw over half the field and keep this thing green type situation. It's that iRacing deems the racing line only about the top half of the backstretch. So anytime someone's losing it below that point in time, iRacing sees no issue with that in its eyes. And that's why, despite we've seen 4 or 5 cars get kind of loose or sideways or skidding down the back straightaway, there has been no yellows for any of those, and that is the reason, because the line only goes so far down the back straightaway.
Into the wall for the 22 from the lead. Another car in the background. Michael Reed clipped the wall. Rob Rader up to 3rd. Trevor Keith back to 4th. Dakota Floyd and Jeremy Burns are going to battle here for 6th spot.
Then make their way off of 2. Burns about a car length and a half back. Maybe make it 2 as they go their way into turn 3. The 9 drives way up there. The Metroplex machine gets real close to the back bumper of Floyd that time by. And that's where you're seeing a little bit of a difference in line in these two. The 9 a little bit softer on the exits because he's a little bit more aggressive on the entries compared to the 57. And that's where we're seeing that accordion effect right now is Jeremy Burns trying to work his way past Dakota Floyd. That's that battle for 6th.
So watching this top 10 spread out. Closest battle on the racetrack is sitting back around the 19th position. It's Michael Bennett in the 14. He's chasing down. We were just talking about Justice Murphy, who was hanging on to the edge of the top 10 a moment ago. He's back to 18th. Not sure what happened to the 12, but he's kind of fallen out.
Yeah, Bennett, I mean, he got caught up in that earlier bit, and now you see Justice Murphy. He's back in 18th. The 12's going the wrong direction right now, trying to work his way back up. Qualified inside the top 10, but has a lot of work to do here as he currently runs behind Caleb Gilbert, the 54, another car that's had some struggles getting to the front half of the field so far tonight. It's been a very interesting race the way this has played out so far relative to when we were here last year and just how caution heavy that was. We've had a lot of near calls, but nothing quite yet. And or outside the one for Bennett, which was arguably the least caution-like of anything we've seen of a near caution tonight.
We've had cars completely 180 down the backstretch, but a car was about 45 degrees and threw a yellow through a corner.
You see here, this is on board with Trevor Keith, the pole sitter, currently running in 5th. Ever since he got stuck back in dirty air just a little bit, is starting to fall back from the race lead. Still has a lot of speed at the moment, though. As you see, he's trying to get back to Michael Reed, right to the back bumper off of 4. Thinking about a move here in the 1. Poked his nose out, but I don't really think he has anywhere to go with that run at the moment. As he got really sideways for a second in the middle of the corner.
The time he got back to the throttle, and some of these drivers are staying in 3rd and 4th gear. They're not even gearing up to 5th gear. I think that might have a little bit to do with why they're not able to run that bottom. I'm curious to see if Rob Rader's staying. He's not really choosing that bottom lane anymore. But I was curious to know if he was maybe staying in 4th gear to drive that apron. I don't know what exactly the magic sauce is to keep it down there.
I don't know either, and to be honest with you, as much as I'd love to speculate, I don't think I'm going to, because I have such a little idea. I don't even think my guesses are going to be half accurate. As you see Keith taking a peek to the inside, he's door to door with Michael Reed, turns 2, trying to work his way on by. He's not quite clear yet. He almost tried to clear himself off at 2, but they're going to side draft down the back straightaway.
This is your 12th place in the points, battling with Michael Reed, who was eliminated last week. He'd actually missed one of the round of 16 races, and it was a pretty much win situation to get in for the 91, and he gave it his all. He did get up there and be in the top 3. I think he led a few laps, but it just wasn't, when you put guys in those kind of scenarios, they throw Hail Marys, and statistically it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, and here we see Trevor Keith going to clear Reed for 4th. Dakota Floyd now has caught the back bumper of Reed as well. 4th through 7th, you could throw a blanket over all of them, as Jeremy Burns is following Floyd up into this battle as well. They're starting to lose touch a little bit from the race leaders. Gilbert holds a half-second advantage over Linz. It's about another second back to Rob Rader, and then another second back to the rest of the field. So right now, Travis Gilbert very much in control of this race, although I will say Carter Lynn's keeping him honest. You know, he's not letting the 22 really set sail here, although he is not really in any particularly dangerous striking position to go for the lead. As we jump back here, here's the 45 of Tyler Harrison, someone who was running in the top 5 the entire opening stint of this race, and a little further back than we've seen him so far tonight, Bradley.
Yeah, a little bit off maybe on the pit road. It was maybe just a little execution there in the box that got him out of position. I'm not worried. The 45 will find his way back up there. We still have green flag pit stops, of course. We're 25 laps on this stint. The field's very spread out, so I wouldn't be surprised for him to maybe undercut a couple laps, pick up a few spots from that, and I also wouldn't be surprised to see some of these guys gamble, take 2 tires, and make up a lot of ground. Seems to be working for Travis Gilbert.
Yeah, track position, very much the name of the game so far through the opening 63 laps. So when they come down pit road again, I have a feeling that we'll see a lot more cars who are thinking about that 2-tire call. As for where that could potentially be. They came down pit road around lap 36, 37 or so. They can go about 40 to 45 laps here tonight. So I would say around lap 75 to 80 is where we're going to start seeing cars coming down pit road. As you see the 9 really lunge it in there on the high side this time, trying to find a way around. Is Dakota Floyd going to use a little bit of that apron to hold that track position?
I thought he was coming down pit road there for a second.
Yeah, it was on the mind. I was talking about it, and the moment he hit the apron, I said, oh, is he coming down now? But still a little early here for the 57. He probably has about another 10, 15 laps he can run.
Jacob Sirkovich out of this race. Last car on the lead lap, the 23 of Christopher Schaefer, and he's in a battle with Grant Thorpe. And here's another driver that I think is a little bit off tonight. The 77 of Thorpe is usually a top 15 driver, right on the edge of the top 10 most weeks. But the Tennessee 77, he's about a second and a half off the pace tonight.
Yeah, it's been a tough season so far for the 77. This is a driver who had a very deep playoff run last year, did not qualify for it this year, I don't believe, and currently running in 25th. He's just trying to find any sort of forward momentum here for these last couple races of the season. So far, though, New Hampshire providing more questions than answers.
He's about 4.5 seconds back from Kyle Diaz. We actually had a pass for
and
position.
Diaz spun earlier.
Yeah, he did. 12 going by the 14 of Bennett, the 19 of Forget. Man, I keep looking back at these points, and there's 2 guys right now in this top 12 that are just not having a good night. Right here, you're looking at both of them. Pardon the wall, too.
Yeah, Matt Robinson, Alex Forget, both of them really struggling at the moment. 19th and 21st, respectively. Both for Forget and Robinson. They had some issues.
You can throw the 12 of Murphy in there, too, so 3 drivers.
Yeah, the 12 as well. I mean, he's running 18. All 3 of these guys having some issues, having some struggles. As up front, Travis Gilbert has been caught by Rob Rader. And Rob Rader maybe going to make the move here in 1 and 2. Gets down to the apron. Oh, it's going to be tight. He's not going to clear him off of 2, though. They're going to be door to door. Let's see how they settle this out. These are 2 pretty aggressive race car drivers running within each other.
Rob Rader just about clears here off of 3 and 4. He's going to have a crossover move down the front stretch. Gilbert couldn't get it back up to speed, and now it's Rob Rader. That's the difference maybe on 4 fresh ones. He's able to take all 4 below the apron and make that pass. It was a long time coming. He came from outside the top 10 there. He had brought himself back up for a top 10 in the stage, and now he has the lead.
And it's even noted, like the last time we were on board with the 53, granted it was probably about 10 laps ago or so, he was still a second and a half back. I mean, he had a lot of distance to traverse to catch those 2. And now that he's got some clean air, he is just pulling away nearly 4/10 there now, as he's about to put another car lap down. That might be Kyle Diaz in front of him. No, that's Christopher Schaefer in front of him. So lap traffic starting to become a factor here.
Schaefer going to move up out of the way. 53 is going to go by on the inside. Schaefer's probably going to want to lift here. It's going to create a little bit of a gap back there to the 22 now. And as we approach those pit stops, about 6 laps or so, with the max on fuel, the vet to track 22 did a fantastic job in the round of 16. Like you said, first, and second. 3 podiums, 2 wins in a row. Can't draw it up much better than that. And looking like another podium day. This goes back to what you mentioned, though, Alex. Did he show his hand too early with that 2-tire stop?
I just can't help but feel that. I know it has worked out for him more times than not this season, but I don't know. This is a long race, and clearly it's starting to go away from him just a little bit. Rader goes on by. Linz is starting to apply some pressure. It just feels like, you can probably run this for about half to 2/3 of a full run, but they're going to go all the way here on this tank probably before they come down pit road, and it's starting to cost him just a little bit of traction.
Track temperatures went down a degree, if you can believe that. 73 degrees in the ambient air temperature. You'd think with these guys racing, as long as they have, maybe to come up a couple degrees, but it has not. And here comes the 22. Looks like it's pit road time.
And it's just about that window. It's probably been about, say, 40 laps. They could probably go a couple more if they really need to, but Travis Gilbert going to be the first to pull it down pit road. Going to try to get the undercut on. Probably there are 4 fresh tires on there as well. I think this is a good time for the 22 to come down pit road. Just as that car was starting to fade a little bit, he'll have an opportunity to try to tune it up, put some tires on it, refuel, and get back out there.
So it's Rob Rader with the lead, Carter Lenz, Trevor Keith back up to third. And it looks like Dakota Floyd might be, yes, maybe not. Nope. He's tricking me every time he does that.
Yeah, Picklesheimer, though, he's down pit road to 35, going to make his stop here. Same with Grant Turner, John Fike as well. So this pit cycle very much underway. But to your point, Dakota Floyd has been very much fooling the both of us here the past couple laps, because he, unlike Rob Rader, who's been on the apron for a lot of the entrance of 1 and 2, Floyd's been on the apron for the exits of 3 and 4, and it's been really deceiving to see. I mean, he's going through the commitment cone there. That's how late he's staying on the apron.
You have to be careful not to get a black flag clipping that commitment cone like that. He's going to do it in 1 and 2.
He's certainly trying a different line here right before the when he has to come down pit road, trying out a little bit of something. We've seen him do it in 3 and 4. We haven't seen it as much in 1 and 2. You see, yeah, he just gets all the way down, that time only to the yellow line. But Rob Rader just made his way onto pit road as well, so he's going to pit from the lead here just past the halfway point tonight. And the 53 early pit stall didn't qualify the best, but that just means the drive into the box that much shorter.
Remember, this is a car that was sideways in the first 10 laps of this race. Got his way back to the top 10 for the stage 1 and raced his way to the lead in these first 40 or so laps. That's incredible. He's definitely practiced.
It's definitely practice, and he's definitely got a good car here tonight. Things are really shaping up nicely so far for the number 53 machine. As a lot of the other cars in the top 5 down pit road, Keith, Lenz, Floyd, Harrison, Burns, all hitting their stops now. Looks like everyone got into their box cleanly here, so they're all going to be kind of leaving as one giant pack.
Carter Lenz, 11 seconds in the box. I think he took right sides only.
There goes the rest of them. Everyone else pretty similar times. Floyd a 10.9 as well. Pretty fast stop for the 57. And this pit cycle, you know, as fast as it started, it's already just about over. There's only a few more cars who are going to be staying out longer than this, I think. We only have about 9 cars left who haven't come down pit road. You see Brandon Richardson there. Kyle Stewart as well.
There's Michael Reed.
So more cars coming down pit road, more cars pitting here. Parker Johnston led a lap. He's down pit road. Caleb Gilbert making his stop as well. With that, that's going to leave only about 3 or 4 cars who've yet to have come down pit road. Nick Alves currently has the race lead for about the next lap or so until he decides to bring it in. But you start seeing where everyone's cycling out. Travis Gilbert has a slight edge for that early pit stop. Carter Lenz and Rob Rader, though, reeling him in a hurt. 53 and the 66 right on the doorstep of the 22 already.
And Nick Alves trying to hold off a bunch of fresh tires here. And I missed the camera. I missed one.
Got like 20 of them, but, you know, number 21 was the kicker there, so we'll know not to use that one moving forward. It looks like Alves is going to peel off down pit road, the last car in this cycle. So Travis Gilbert, if he holds on to it, is going to inherit the race lead when they get back around to the start-finish line. But Lenz and Rader, and they are about to put them 3 wide in 3 of them. Look at that.
I don't know if that works. Really close there off of turn 4.
Oh,
and
Kyle Stewart's around. Just
Kyle
at the end of
Stewart.
the pit cycle. Just as everyone not named Grant Thorpe had come down pit road. That is going to bring out the yellow. Take a look here with Kyle Stewart. He was to the inside of Matt Robinson coming off of turn 2 and just lost it. What got it, though, that's what triggered the yellow when he was trying to catch it and it came back up the racetrack a little bit. That's the difference between why that was a yellow versus all the other ones that weren't earlier on in this race.
This might have saved Travis Gilbert. He's going to come down pit road. He's the only one. Everybody else decided not to. I think this saves him, though, because of that 2-tire call. And we've seen this a few times this season, Alex, where the 22 maybe showed his hand too early. Now he's going to come down and probably take 4 fresh ones and race his way back through this field.
Yeah, he had put about 8 laps on those tires. Everyone else had put on about 4. So not a huge difference, but enough for a little extra fuel, a little fresher tires over the course of this run. Could be beneficial to the 22, but he's going to have a lot of ground to cover. We only have one car that's off the racetrack. That was Jacob Sirkovich. So still about, say 24 to 26 cars, depending on where they slot him in line here, that he's going to have to work through to get to the front of this field. As we are going to get ready to take a brief step away here. Continued coverage of the Chapman Cup Series right after this.
Carter Lenz with the lead when we come back.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs, Tennessee Pest and Termite Control.
Back here with the green flag back underway. Sorry to cut off the commercial there. Tyler Harrison, a few restart violations. We had those black flags cleared just now, but there was a little bit of a check up there on the inside and outside lines that jumbled these guys up, some avoidance, and the 45 of Tyler Harrison. Man, look at him go to the outside now. Michael Reed and Dakota Floyd. He's trying to get a 2-for-1 on lap 90.
Take a look here. Floyd to the inside of Harrison down the back straightaway. The 57 trying to dig on the inside. Did not get an exit he was looking for, though, is up front. Rob Rader, Carter Lins, the battle for the lead off of turn 4. The 66 trying to hold on to it. Rob Rader trying to pry it away, digging all the way down to the apron.
There to make door contact. Rader uses every inch that he could there. And here comes Trevor Keith. Carter Lins, he led a few. We had an extension of that caution to get these guys cycle back out. And it's the 27.
Big wreck. Orlando's around.
Mike's involved. The 12. Kevin Orlando sideways down the backstretch. This one has all the makings of not clear. You can take that for whoever hit him or if he came across someone's nose, but not clear.
Turn 2 has very much been the problem area so far tonight, and that continues right here. We'll take a look at the replay. Kevin Orlando Jr. sideways on the back straightaway. How he got there, though, is right here to the outside. Got a little bit loose, and then I think because he got loose, he had to check up a little bit to catch it. Gets hit in the back from John Fike, and the two of them go around big time. Ooh. Justice Murphy. Forget Justice Murphy. Jesus Murphy. He almost hit the wall there head on. I was able to hold on to it. Let's jump on board here with the 12. Look at how close he gets to tagging the outside fence here.
Hello.
Could reach out and give it a kiss if he wanted to. That's how close he came. That was wild stuff from the 12. But for Kevin Orlando Jr., I mean, he is one of those guys in that round of 12. I believe he was, digging last week to even be a part of it. Or, sorry, no, apologies. He is not one of the cars who advanced. Sincere apologies there to the 27, but that's certainly not going to help. He had a pretty good run going. Started the 27th, was up to just outside the top 10 when that incident happened with Fike.
So about 3 or 4 cars involved in that incident. It looked a lot worse initially, but the 27 of Kevin Orlando, the 65 of John Fike, they have some damage to get repaired, especially Fike. And you made a point there before this race to just not even mention the 65 because it seemed like every time we put the camera on him, said anything good was happening, it would implode. I guess it's just, Fike has a fast car. He's got raw talent, raw speed, and something happens to him every week.
And there's a lot of drivers in this field where we can say that misfortune kind of follows them around a little bit. I'm not sure if there's a driver I could say that more about this season than the 65 of John Fike. It feels like every time we see him, he's like running in that top 10, top 12 area, having a good day, and then sometime, especially in the back half of the race, something happens where he gets caught back in traffic because of some kind of incident. And has a lot of times this season not had the result that his average running position and his average finish position drastically different this season, and not in a good way, unfortunately.
Caution's 8 lead changes. Trevor Keith, stage 1 winner. He'll restart in 4th spot. Tyler Harrison back to the top 3. Rob Rader snagged the lead away from Carter Lenz just before that caution came out. We're getting set to go back green. We're doubled back up here at the Magic Mile, Loudon, New Hampshire, for the first race in the round of 12. Rob Rader trying to win this race. He gets an excellent restart, and we're back underway.
Nice jump there for the 53s. They're going 3 wide, deeper in the pack. This middle of the field, everyone trying to get that sorted right now. Things get, oh boy, Nick Alves and Michael Bennett nearly come together there. Cars darting for position here. Sometimes you get lulled a little bit into a false sense of security at a place like New Hampshire. You're like, it's not super big, the banking isn't super high, you don't get up to some crazy speeds. Every track you go to, you're going to have some crazy speeds, because even if you're not going up to 200 miles an hour per se, because it's a bit of a shorter track, all the moves happen that much faster because there's so much less straightaway to work with. We jump on board here with Caleb Gilbert. You see Travis Gilbert now peeking to the inside. Any kind of move from high lane to bottom happens so quickly. Here's, Burns and Picklesheimer get together. Everything stacked up here, trying to get it sorted out. Oh, that's going to be ugly, and Robinson's around. And Picklesheimer, it's a huge wreck on the straightaway. Oh, that's the worst thing that you could ask for there. You could see it coming from a mile away, and there was just no way to stop.
And that started with the 35 and the 9 making contact. Let's unpack this one. This is up front. 35 actually got loose prior to that. And then here's the stack up coming off of the corner. They were almost 5 wide.
They were more or less. I mean, they were 6 wide there, and there's a reason 3 of those 6 cars ended up in the fence. Richie, Orlando, Bennett, Alves, Robinson, Caleb Gilbert, all on the wall. Picklesheimer, Stewart. A lot of cars tore up there. Jump on board with Kevin Orlando. Got just from his point of view. His race has gone from good to bad to worse here now as he was trying to find a way through. Honestly, I don't even know if he got caught by anybody. I think it was just him losing control trying to weave on through, but he nearly did clear that.
This will be the best angle I can give you for this. Oh, just kidding.
Shout out to the press box for completely hiding all of the action on the front straightaway there.
Let's see if we can find a different angle here. Maybe this one will do it better.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear look at what unfolded.
He's got a gap right here with the 12 and the 35.
Yeah, and just couldn't catch it when the back end kicked out trying to shoot through that gap.
And that puts us under another yellow here on lap 99. These drivers still can't make it on fuel. I'll be about 10 laps or so short. If I'm anybody that's in this playoff 12, though, I'm going to come in and top off every chance on this caution and hope there's one more caution, and I think you can make it. I think that would be the perfect recipe. If I'm outside the top 10 and I'm in the top 12 in points, I'm coming down pit road and taking as much fuel as I can every single time.
Yeah, and that just feels like the natural step. So right at this point in time, you can't quite make it on fuel, but it's pretty close. Fuel window here about 40 to 45 laps for those cars pitting right now on lap 100. Gonna come up about 5-10 laps short. If we have a lot of cautions, though, in this last third of the race, might be able to stretch it. If not, you would just need to gas and go, and you'd be good to go from there.
I mean, how many times have we seen guys work the clutch pedal and save 4.5, 5 laps of fuel and run out at the line? I mean, it's possible. It's absolutely possible.
Yeah, for sure it is. And we're getting ready to go racing here once again. Back third of this race. Rob Rader, Trevor Keith up front. 2 drivers who have by far, outside of Travis Gilbert, led the most laps here tonight. 2 of those 3. Curious to see how they settle this thing out. Rob Raiders led 17. Trevor Keith led 35. Space car peels off.
Back underway, another excellent jump for the 53, and the caution's back out. Not
Well, that didn't
exactly
take
sure.
long at all. Not entirely sure what it is. Maybe something with the... I don't think it's something with the 9. I don't really know what happened there. They didn't even really take the green flag when the yellow came back.
Yeah, I think some of these guys in the back of the field weren't caught up in time. You can go back here with Grant Thorpe and a few of these drivers. Picklesheimer also in that mix as well. They hadn't quite caught up to the tail end of the field, and Picklesheimer got sideways and caused a checkup there for 2 of these drivers as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of all she wrote there. And just as they thought they were going to be getting going, not quite. Is the 35 going to duck back down pit road here? Imagine this will be a shortened caution, but for guys like Alex Forget, this is exactly what you need to try to stretch that fuel window a little bit. A couple more laps of pacing. So now here we go. This time I'm going to try to get it going on the lap 102. Green flags in the air, and the rest of the field trying to catch up as you see Raider going to clearly get down of the way with the lead. Linz and Keith battling for second.
Looking 3 wide off the corner. Here comes Jeremy Burns to the outside. He's got Tyler Harrison to the left and sideways for the 22. Travis Gilbert just about gets destroyed and everyone avoids him. Somehow.
Ridiculous that everyone was able to avoid him. That's a terrifying place to be stuck sideways on the racetrack. How on earth did the field clear the 22 there? I genuinely lost for words. I'm floored that no one clipped him.
That is the definition of locking it down.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
This is what everybody complains about in an official series. Drivers just kind of going, Jesus, take the wheel. He locks it down, and everybody's able to avoid it. Wow.
I mean, there's so many point of views I want to watch, but how about we try to catch, I think it's Alex Forget's, or maybe it was Kyle Stewart. It's one of these green cars in the back of the field where they jump up to the high side here to clear them. And it's just incredible how close it was. Oh, yeah. And then, so it's the 10 of Kyle Stewart I was trying to see the onboard, because he gets up to the wall. He's threading, this through the eye of the storm here. It's truly miraculous. Both him and Grant Thorpe go up to the high side. There could not have been more than like 1.1's width of car here to clear. Take a look at this. How on earth? You see Thorpe a little bit of contact with the wall, Stewart a little bit of contact with the wall. But, better to brush the right side a little bit than to absolutely pulverize another car head on.
And a lot of cars just brought it down pit road here.
Yeah,
Michael
this was
Reed.
everyone's realizing they could make the fuel window, and Dakota Floyd and Caleb Gilbert come together on pit exit. Oh, okay. I've seen if anyone had a black flag from that. They did not, but actually, the 23 of Christopher Schaefer has a black flag. He is currently just coming off the racetrack here, but on my timing screen says that he has a black flag. I'm not entirely sure for what.
Maybe he got caught speeding down pit road.
Certainly might have been.
You know what's surreal to me right now?
Yeah.
Daniel Holloway was a lap down midway through this race.
He certainly was. He was a lap down midway through this race, and without even really being out on these tires for too long, he's now leading this thing. Him, Kevin Orlando Jr., who was caught up in 2 of the last 3 incidents, he's now up to the front as well. You can add Alex Forget-Berube in there as well. They're on 4 or 5 lap older tires than the rest of the field, which honestly, all things considered, that's pretty equal. The only difference really is everyone came down pit road because they put them in the fuel window easily, and they are going to really have to stretch. But with all these cautions, who knows? They still have a fighting chance here.
Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't be surprised to see somebody pull off the fuel strategy if we go green till the end. But it's Daniel Holloway and Kevin Orlando Jr. for this restart Alex Forget, Rob Rader, John Fike, the top 5. Pace car out of the way. Let's go back. Green flag racing at New Hampshire. Oh, quick work there by Rob Rader. Already to the inside to take the lead over.
Yeah, meanwhile, Trevor Keith kind of trapped behind Holloway, nowhere to go. So Rob Rader just set sail, clean air to the nose of that race car. Everyone trying to figure out how to get past these 3 cars who are 3 wide. Oh, Holloway hard into the wall in 3-4. Completely was not able to make that corner. Hard into the fence. A lot of cars are going to go on by. Meanwhile, Orlando and Forget trying to lock it down for second and third as Trevor Keith and John Fike battle it out behind them.
Trevor Keith's one of those drivers that was in this top 3 prior to the strategy. 19 to Forget's around. He saves it
Second time
again.
tonight, he's had issues off of turn 2.
Watch how close this one got.
Yeah, it got, I mean, he just about put this thing into the inside wall hard.
This is as close as it gets, folks. Oh, he did hit it. I thought he missed it, but I mean, he broadsides it.
Yeah, he was in position to slam it, and he grazed it. That could have been significantly worse.
Oh, wow. 27. Oh, Kevin Orlando just gave a shot to John Fike here as they came out of turn 4. And there's some front end damage on that 27. Matt Robinson's race has recovered, as is Grant Turner up 11. A lot of these drivers up in the top 10 have gained a ton of positions. You can see those positions gained or lost on the left-hand side of your screen, but look at that top 10. You're seeing an average of around 12 positions gained. Orlando, 23. It's insane.
Yeah, and there's only 27 cars in the field here tonight. He's nearly done the first challenge inadvertently here as the 27 as he's up and down the 4th. Matt Robinson, who's had a really frustrating race, he finds himself in the 5th position right now as things sit. So he's having a good rebound day and a day that he really needs to pull some points together. But right now, everybody trying to track down the 53 of Rob Rader. And we've seen him in this position a couple times in recent weeks, and something has happened one way or the other that's cost him it. Right now, though, everything going to 53's way. We'll see if he's able to close this thing out over the final 40 laps or so here, give or take a lap. As this has been probably one of the more complete races we've seen of the 53 so far this season.
Now I have to ask the question, is he on the clutch pedal at all? It does not sound like it. You can see kind of dripping down to 4th gear, but that's as low as he's going. He's not taking it down to 3rd, as we've seen with a lot of these other guys here tonight. So maybe a little bit of fuel save. When you keep that RPM low through the corner, it's less fuel burn. And you know, a difference between 2,000 or 3,000 RPMs, it might not sound like much, but over the course of 70 laps or so, it's a massive difference. And that's about what, 50 laps, that's about what they're going to go.
Oh, Parker Johnston around on the back straightaway.
48. That's going to bring out the caution.
Yeah, that was, he was fully sideways and looking at oncoming traffic going down the back straightaway here.
Doesn't look like there's any damage on that car. It's been a lot of pop-up chicanes on the backstretch tonight. Guys doing a great job avoiding any incidents. But the 48 car is going to get loose coming out of turn 2. I don't even have to watch the replay prior to this. Oh, this is netcode. This is the 10 of Stewart.
Yeah, we'll take a look here from Kyle Stewart's point of view. But it did look like the two of them, whether they either got together or some netcode got them around. But take a look at this here. We're on board with Kyle Stewart, on board with the 10. They make their way off of turn 2, and yeah, just a little bit of a tap. Enough to send the 48 around.
Watch it one more time from the back end of Parker Johnston. It's on board with the 48. Rear view camera. You can see the 10 comes up. The 48, probably expecting the 48 to go out towards the wall a little bit more than he did. You can watch this in slow motion, but I think that's where Kyle Stewart's mindset was, is that we're exiting the corner a little higher usually, and he just comes up.
And that's the tricky part when you're running side by side at a place like New Hampshire where everything wants to flood up to one spot. You see, the 48 was going to get up there, but just didn't exit as wide as the cars in front of him. It looked like angle-wise he was still going to get there just maybe a second later. But that slight discrepancy in where the 10 thought he was going to be versus where the 48 actually was, that was the difference maker in bringing out, I believe now, our 7th caution of the night. And 4 of them have been in the past 15 laps here, Bradley. This thing was cruising pretty good until we got about 2/3 of the way into this thing, and now they're having a really tough time keeping this thing going at any given point.
Yeah, and it keeps shaking up the strategy again and again. That's what worries me the most is for some of these guys that were committed to, a 2-tire stop. They were playing the long run strategy. It kind of threw them out of the mix. So now you have Rob Rader, Trevor Keith, who have adapted to it well. But then you have other drivers like Tyler Harrison, Carter Lenz. You could put the 9 of Jeremy Burns kind of in that box, I think, as well. Tyler Harrison especially. It's just kind of changed this race to a point where they have to overdrive the car to get back up here. We got 40 laps to go. There's no saving the tires. And if you had a long run in mind, if that's where your speed was, that's not an option.
No, it's really not. And now this is a matter of if you haven't been restarting good so far tonight, you really need to figure it out. Because that seems to be the name of the game in these closing couple of laps. And something tells me you're going to really need to be able to do these if you're going to find your way to the front here. Rob Rader, Trevor Keith ready to rock and roll once again, seeing if they can get this going into the restart zone. Green flags back in the air. Rob Rader going to sail down into turn 1. Good launch for the 53. And Michael Reed going to be battling with John Fike for third. They were leaning on each other going into turn 1.
On the back stretch, nobody clips that wall just yet. Everybody stays straight. Rob Rader has company, though, from the 15 of Trevor Keith. And look at the contact behind Trevor Keith with the 91 and the 65.
Well, they are going to war right now for position number 3. Michael Reed up high in that number 91 machine. Fike down low in the 65. Oh, almost a more contact between the two. Fike seems to be having a tough time getting that thing to grab the apron. I think part of that's because the 91's running the pretty shallow line as well. Oh, Richardson hard into the inside wall. Nose caved in on the 8. And once again, out of the racing line, we stay green. That is, if there's one thing that we are going to be able to take away from New Hampshire tonight, is their 3 to come off a turn. The big takeaway is that they need to widen what iRacing deems the racing line coming off of 2. We've had a lot of issues coming off of turn 2 tonight.
Tyler Harrison gets a shot from the 14 of Bennett. He went by on the outside. The 22 now going to bang doors with Bennett. Gilbert trying to get his way back to the front spot. He knows he only has about 35, 40 laps to do this. He's driving his heart out, but Rob Rader has pulled 0.3 of a second ahead of Trevor Keith.
Yeah, we take a look here. This battle still. Travis Gilbert to the inside now of Harrison. He's door-to-door at the 45. The 22 trying to do what he can to fight himself back up front. He had a perfect or near perfect round of 16 over the past 3 weeks. 2 firsts and a second. Right now stuck in that 8th position, trying to work his way through this traffic. He's cleared Michael Bennett. Tyler Harrison, though, not going to be an easy pass. That 45 back up to 7th, and you got Jeremy Burns, the current points leader, sitting in 6th. The 3 of these guys are going to be duking it out as, wow, look at the stab there from 22. Gilbert just tucks it in there through the apex of the corner, shovels it by the 45. Not clear yet, but he has the advantage in the 3.
It's going to be a difficult one to clear, though. If the 45 can have any say in it, he will.
Now Bennett thinking more of the same here. Bennett's going to try to find his way around Harrison. That's that battle for 8th just behind these guys. You see a little bit more action deeper in the field. Orlando clears Diaz. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway. Richie up to the wall. Forget trapped in the middle. Carter Lenz and Dakota Floyd in this battle as well. Oh, boy, almost 4 wide. Floyd thought about it, backed off, and I think that's a wise move from the 57. Maybe not for track position, but at least for self-preservation, because I don't think they were going to get that sorted out if they stayed 4 wide.
It's Michael Reed trying to chase down John Fike for the 3rd position on board with the 91.
He's had a good day today. He's up from 19th now into the top 5, looking for more. He has been having a real slugfest with John Fike up ahead of him. And we know Michael Reed. We talk about it anytime we've come to these short tracks lately. He won Richmond. I wouldn't say identical to New Hampshire. Similar situation with the banking as Forget's around, coming off of turn 2 for a 3rd time. Although that time I think he may have had a little bit of help, and he had to park that thing in the wall. Oh, a nightmare open to the round of 12 for Alex Forget-Berube tonight.
He's trying the apron line, got loose on his own.
Nope, no help. Just lost it on his own. I thought the 66 was a little closer to the back bumper. I am mistaken. Turn 2, and Alex Forget not going to be writing each other any Christmas cards here today. You see the 19. Yeah, tried to get down on the apron, and that car, the moment it came back into the banking, was deeply upset. Back end kicks around, and what has already been a frustrating day for the 19 continues to become even more so. As we jump onto this battle with Carter Linz. He is currently running in that 11th position, one of the fastest cars through the opening part of this race. Pit at that last caution, and now as things are starting to settle green again, he's got some work to do to get back to where he's been running all evening long.
Yeah, and what's confusing to me is he's got a lot of cars ahead of him that have, 4 fresh tire or have older tires. He has 2 on the right side of this thing. I would expect to see Carter Linz in the top 5 if we stay green. But this race has flipped so many times now. The script is different every single time we go green. It's hard to decipher who am I faster than, especially when you took 4 tires, 40 laps ago. It's so confusing to keep track of all of that. And then you take 2, expecting it to work. There's only a handful of guys that practice that. I don't even think it was a scenario for most of these guys before we got in here. I know one guy that definitely tested it, and he's got a lot of work to do here. Travis Gilbert with 1:01 in the lane the last time. He got some of that damage repaired. He's passing Matt Robinson rather. Michael Reed, the next car in line. This is for the top 5.
Yeah, to that point you were making
out.
about, yellow's out. I was just about to say, to the point you were making about Linz, as Dakota Floyd's around, big playoff implications there. It's the 57 sideways. I was just about to say with Carter Linz, he was up from about 16th to 9th before that caution came out, so he was making some headway on those pressure tires, just maybe not at the rate he was hoping to be clicking them off. As you see Floyd, similar issue to Forget. No, actually. Looks like some cars get into, I think that might have been Alves, who got into the wall and then into Johnston, and ultimately Johnston gets shunted down into the 57, and around goes Dakota Floyd. Take one more look at it here. Sorry, it's Kevin Orlando into the wall, and then that gets the 48 into the 57.
Diaz able to miss that. Everybody doing a fantastic job here tonight of avoiding these incidents.
Yeah. There's really only been that one on the front straightaway about 25 laps ago that really has collected a lot of cars.
That was the
Everyone
checkup
else is...
that just you couldn't avoid.
Yeah. So a lot of takers for pit road here. I'm a little surprised by that, but John Fike, Michael Reed, amongst others, Tyler Harrison, Kyle Stewart, a couple of playoff guys in the mix here. And I'll tell you what, that's going to just cycle Travis Gilbert and Carter Linz a little closer to the front here. Most notably, I think, for the 66. Now, on those 10-lap fresher tires in the cars in front of him, he's up to 6th. Curious to see if he's going to be able to do anything with it. And for the cars pitting here, is there enough time to capitalize on these fresh tires?
I don't know. That's pretty deep there. And then Harrison missed his box by about a half a foot there. Had to back up. He lost even more positions coming down pit road, so he's all the way back to 18th now. But it's Rob Rader all the way back to Alex Forget in 11th. I think that's too long of a line of cars. The only way it's even possible is if we stay green, and I don't I don't think there's enough difference on the tires for these guys that are deeper in this group of 11. You know, they've only gotten about 10 laps in their green, 9 laps, 15 laps on the stint. I think they'll put up such a challenge for these guys on fresh tires that even if we do stay green and they get up here, they will have used their stuff up getting there, you know?
It's certainly plausible. I mean, we saw when Travis Gilbert was on the 2 tires after the stage break at lap 35, that stint that followed it, he was able to maintain that pace up front for about 25, 30 laps. So got to imagine that these cars, especially the ones who pit at lap 113 or lap 114, are going to be able to hold off with reasonable effect the folks who just came down pit road. It's going to be interesting because, you know, the cars who are going to start fading are the ones who got those top 5 spots right now. Everyone's going to be kind of meeting in the middle. It's just going to be a matter of when they meet in the middle, and is that going to be before or after the checkered flag flies here today? As the pace car peels off for potentially the final time. 21 laps to go, this time by Rob Rader, going to lead Trevor Keith, Matt Robinson, and Travis Gilbert not too far behind.
And it is all-out warfare for this top 5. Look at Lenz on the outside. He almost runs out of racetrack coming off the corner. The 11 washes up the racetrack, allows the 9 of Burns now to the inside. Jeremy Burns looking for the top 5. The 12 around. Another caution.
Wreck on the front straightaway. Oh, Nick Alves flipping down into turn 1.
Nick Alves, end over end. The KLD trucking machine is destroyed.
And he's going to bring that to pit road, understandably. He's getting towed back. This was a violent crash, but look at Nick Alves.
Harrison
just hits him like a ramp. And the 24 goes tumbling into turn 1. And what had been a decent day so far for Nick Alves is going to turn into probably a pretty disappointing result. Same for the 45. The front end completely tore up there. And this all starts between Forget and Justice Murphy down the front straightaway.
Anyone Reed got into the wall and sent the 12 down there. He bounced off of the 19, but man, it's hard to get this whole thing in the frame. We'll back it up one more time from our blimp camera. You can watch here off the corner. Watch the 91 of Reed. He's going to bounce off the 10 and the wall, and Justice Murphy just nowhere to go. Do you want to take a wild ride?
Hey, for the folks at home, if you have any sort of vertigo or your stomach flips easily, you may close your eyes for the next 20 seconds here. We're going to jump on board with Nick Alves. And for the folks who are ready for this, get ready for an absolutely wild turn of events.
It's not very often you see a rollover at a mile-long racetrack.
Yeah, especially on a straightaway, no less. I mean, that is an astronomical turn of events. And, of course, for Nick Alves, he has to be on the receiving end of it. A brutal break to what's been an otherwise fine race for the 24. Tyler Harrison completely tore up in that. Kyle Diaz going to hit the wall trying to escape that as well. Man, for as clean as the opening 100 laps were, Bradley, the past 34 or so have been really gnarly. And I wonder if there's any driver happier about that right now than the 53 of Rob Rader, who continues to get these good restarts, and then no one really has the time to reel him back in and challenge him for the race lead right now.
I'm sure he's happy about it, but it also goes back to the scenarios I was talking about earlier in this race, where you put guys in a Hail Mary situation, and again, it goes back to the 12 of Justice Murphy, who was just caught up in that incident. Think about 2 races from now for him. He's going to have to throw that Hail Mary. But right now, you've got guys like Carter Lenz, Travis Gilbert, who have had success earlier in this race. Matt Robinson, Jeremy Burns, who's been quiet pretty much all race. He's been top 5, but hasn't been in the lead. These guys might come up here and do something they otherwise wouldn't do because they're running out of time. So I don't know exactly how this scenario is going to work out. I know for Rob Rader's sake, he better keep getting these good restarts to keep him at bay, though.
Yeah, and that's going to come down to another one right here as the pace car peels off. Here we go again. Does Trevor Keith have anything for the 53? Green flags back in the air. Good launch here for Rader once again. Trevor Keith going to clear Carter Linz, though, going into turns 1 and 2. So here we go. Who's got something for the race leader? Rob Rader. He got a great exit, though, off the corner. And now side by side for second behind him.
Carter Linz to the outside of Trevor Keith. It's going to be a close one. He doesn't quite clear him.
He doesn't, and the more time they spend side by side, the harder it's going to be to reel in Rob Rader. Linz, though, clears him for second, and now the 66 has his eyes set on trying to reel in Raiders. Oh, Caleb Gilbert got a little out of sorts there coming off of 2. Able to collect it. He's in the middle of this 3-wide battle here with Grant Turner, Kyle Stewart just behind him. 54 right now holding up to that last spot in the top 10. You can still see all the smoke here on the front straightaway from the last caution. It hasn't quite gone away yet.
On board with Carter Linz. He led a handful of laps there. Rob Rader took the lead away from him pretty quickly. Looking to try to get that back. How fitting would it be for the Linz heating and air conditioning machine to win this race?
It would be, as tonight's race sponsor. He has one more hurdle time, though, and that is the 4-time champ who sits in front of him. However, it's not been a standard season for the 53. It's been very much a lot of trials and tribulation. Rob Rader trying to get the victory lane for only the second time this season. Carter Lane, oh, caution's out deeper in the field. Grant Turner sideways on the back straightaway, right front, completely caved in on the 39.
It's back straightaway for the 39. Got a little loose. I think he had contact that got him loose from the 19. Let's see if we can back this up one more time. On board with Alex Forget.
Yeah, we're on board here with the 19, and just looks like maybe Johnston got a little out of sorts off of 2. Checked up the 39 just enough where Forget made contact with him. See if we can take a look at it again, but from that vantage point, that's kind of how it looked. We'll see here. The 48, I think, clips the wall. Oh, because Caleb Gilbert also hits the wall in front of him. He was following the 54 up the hill. Both of them clipped the wall off of 2. That checks up the whole outside line. And ultimately, that accordion effect is what brings the 39 sideways here.
Watching slow motion, watch the 48. Too heavy
the
impacts with the
54
wall.
and the 48, both of them catch it. And then as Grant Turner is trying to collect this thing, the 19 was there, and around he goes. Well, next time by, it's going to be 10 laps to go. And, they haven't had a green flag run 7-8 laps, I think, since we've hit the final third of this race. Something tells me we may have another restart even after this one.
It's looking that way, but we have some bills to pay. Let's take a quick commercial break here on the Chapman Cup Series. More coverage continues of the Linz Heating and Air Conditioning 166 playoff round of 12 right after this.
Hey, Dad. Did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey, Dad. Did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Back here live, green flag is out. Rob Rader gets another excellent restart. And it's Trevor Keith, Carter Lynn side by side again for the second position. Just under 10 to go at New Hampshire.
Everyone chasing Rob Rader right now. Trevor Keith, Carter Lynn once again side by side. Travis Gilbert, we know the 22's fast tonight. Does he have something to try to claw his way into a podium spot? Is everyone trying to get stacked up here, second on the sixth? Man, there is not a lot of room to operate right now between Carter Lynn's all the way back to Jeremy Burns.
Oh boy.
Well, almost a little bit of contact there. This is where you really see the elbows out, close a couple laps. Oh, and the caution's out again deeper in the pack. Boy, oh boy, they just can't keep this thing in one piece. This time it's Matt Robinson. And that is certainly not what the 11 wants to see here. He's one of those drivers in this round of 12 trying to fight for a championship here this season. Came into today 2 points above the cut line, and that is certainly going to be dropping him deeper in the field here.
It's in a race that had 2 cautions in the first 100 laps. It's all fallen apart.
That's a little bit of an understatement.
There it is.
The secret bleacher camera strikes again as Orlando and Robinson collect each other here off of turn 2. One more look at it here from a different angle. You see the 11 up high, and I think it's very similar to that Parker Johnston and who got into him earlier? Lieutenant Kyle Stewart. Very similar to that incident where I think they were expecting Robinson just to go up all the way to the wall, didn't quite get there, and the 27 gave him a little extra help, and this time it cost them both.
Aiming for the outside wall, and you end up on the inside wall. Matt Robinson bringing it down pit road with Kevin Orlando. You've got Nick Alves, who went end over end a moment ago. But we're approaching overtime. So if we have another caution here, I know we're going to overtime.
Yeah, at this point. And it's we'll explain what that looks like should we need to get there. Very notably, this puts Tyler Harrison back on the lead lap after that crazy incident that flipped Nick Alves. So the 45, his day may not be over just yet. He's going to be right around the edge of the top 20. I think he's scored in 20th right now. And with a couple more laps here, you never know. He might be able to salvage this thing still, despite the fact he's been running so well tonight up until that incident. This is, it's long odds for the 45, but certainly not an impossibility.
Seeing crazier things. No reason to think he can't get a top 15 out of this, which would probably be a best case.
We've seen some crazy stuff here like last year, where Jeremy Burns came back from 4 laps down to win this race. And, who's to say that Tyler Harrison can't get up into the mix here with only 5 to go, despite the fact that he was just involved in a wreck that flipped someone like 20 laps ago. He's the last car on track, but
that's the only one that can say.
They did a great job patching that thing back together.
Yep. Too much damage were done is the words that nobody wants to hear, so hopefully he can avoid everything, because we're not done. 5 to go. This is not the end of it. I guarantee you somebody's going to send it and throw a Hail Mary. It's playoff format, first race of the round of 12, and you've got a lot of drivers that are in that top 12 that are outside this top 10 for this restart.
When they take the green, it'll be 4 to go. Carter Lynn's going to be up in front of Trevor Keith this time. Does the 66 have anything on the outside for this restart?
Let's find out. Can he match the speed perfectly? Looks like Raider caught him off guard again. He's going to jump up in front of him just after the start-finish line. It's the wash, rinse, and repeat for the 53.
Yeah, and that's tough to do, restart after restart, but he keeps his timing different each and every time. It's done a good job keeping himself up at the front of this thing. And next time by, it'll be 3 laps to go. Does anyone have something different? Oh, Reed and Gilbert around. Michael Reed, Travis Gilbert, the 22 into the wall. Oh, Forget and Diaz wiping each other out in the grass as well. Somehow there was no caution from any of that, so we stay green, despite the fact Kyle Diaz is going to have to pick 4-leaf closers out of the wheel well. He was going for a ride through the grass. Rob Raider up at the front just saying, please let this thing stay green to the end.
Let's go back here with what happened to the 22 and then watch it coming off. Wow, look at this track just clogged up. Cars in the grass, they're 4 wide.
Absolutely maniacal that wasn't a caution. And we'll come back to that a little bit later, but right now, 2 to go, white flag next time by. It's a 0.3 of a second advantage for Rob Raider, and they got through the initial chaos on that restart, which makes me think that they're going to take the white flag this time around. It's going to be official.
White flag presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. And it's Rob Raider. He has to seal the deal, but there could be a send here from Carter Lenz. Let's see if he does it. Oh, he got loose.
He got a little bit loose. Here comes the 66 within a car length in the 3.
Oh, man, he's all over him. Oh, he locked it up. Lenz lost it.
Correct.
Carter Lenz lost it.
Oh, and there's more cars being collected now. Rob Raider holds on to win it. However, big story, the 66 of Carter Lenz, one of these playoff drivers, just cost himself a ton of points as that car careened into the outside wall on the last lap.
Rob Raider, Trevor Keith, and Michael Bennett. The top 3. Unbelievable.
Truly a stunning turn of events. I'm almost at a loss for words because that was such a unexpected way for that race to end. Got a feel for the 66. He is tentatively being scored in the 22nd position after literally making contact with the leader on the last lap, the last corner.
Raider got loose there off the corner. This is actually 2 to go. We're going to come back around here for the white flag. And you'll see the 66 of Lenz get an even better run into 3. This is on board with him. He has second place locked up. Trevor Keith's 3/10 back.
And this would have been a great points way for him to kick off the round of 12. And I think at this moment in time, he was fine with that until the 53 gets loose right there. That's the blood in the water for the 66 to go on the offensive, try to make a lunge for the win, and just loses it.
Yeah, I think he locked it up a lot more, and there might have been a little bit of a block. You can, 48, 27. Look at the chaos off at turn 4. All these drivers scattering around, and hey, Tyler Harrison got 13th.
Jeez, what a rally for the 45.
I got to go back one more time here. I'm going to ask everybody's opinion here in the chat. Like I said, blood in the water. He knows the 66 is going inside here, and Lenz tries not to run him over. I think that's what really happened there.
Yeah, and a little extra contact there with Johnson. Not much you can do about it. Orlando as well. This has got to be a deflating feeling for Carter Lenz after what has been such a strong day. But it's going to be Rob Raider who's going to be celebrating this one. Win number 2 on the season for the 53. Could not have come at a better time as he just punched his ticket to the round of 8.
We're waiting here to get down to victory lane with the driver in the number 53. We're going to take it back one more time here and watch this end of the race replay because there was a lot that happened. I want to go back one more time, watch these last few laps or so. There was some chaos here as well, and we'll get to Rob in just a moment. But watch back here with Jeremy Burns, the 14 of Bennett. There's so much happening off of these final few corners. 91 of Ree got to the inside. There's the contact with the 22. There's the stack up. Jeremy Burns ends up finishing top 5 in this race. But he got shuffled all the way back to like 9th.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars who got shuffled way back here. And then everyone's fighting for position in this group. A very underrated bit of this, Justin Ritchie, who had been down and out basically 90% of this race, is going to come home with the top 5 to kick off his round of 12. What a rally for the 55, man. There's just so much that happened in those final couple laps.
Well, our first driver we're going to bring up for our post-race coverage is the winner here tonight. In the round of 12, Rob Rader finds his way back to victory lane. And I thought you were going to do it last week there. You had a really stellar day at Bristol. You had some stellar days at all 3 of the round of 16, but here tonight, you were the dominant car. It led 67 laps. You could put yourself up there with just, Carter Lenz, Trevor Keith, and I would even throw, I think it was Travis Gilbert in that mix as well. But you were definitely the best car at the end of this race, restart after restart.
Yeah, thanks. It's really good to get the monkey off the back. I was talking about stats with some of these guys for this season, and it's like my average finish is ranked 23rd in the league, but I have more stage wins than anybody else. I have more stage points than anybody else. It's like something bad always happens in the back half of these races for me, it seems, and sometimes it's self-inflicted, sometimes it's not. But this week I decided to go ahead and spin out at the beginning of the race, hoping
get it
to
out of the
reverse
way.
the fortune.
Yeah.
And it worked. So yeah, I have no idea why I was so fast, to be honest with you. I mean, I knew I had good pace, but I found a little something there after I spun out and the caution came out and I had to drive back through the field. And those guys were just checked up in dirty air. And I found something down there on the apron that nobody else could find all night. And that's how I passed everybody. And it was crazy fast. And then, once you're in the lead, it's just impossible to pass with the dirty air. But I am pumped, man. It's been a really long time since I won one of these. It's been really frustrating lately. And winning this one means I can take it nice and easy for the next 2 races. Should be fast next week at Kansas. And then I don't need to worry about the Roval, which is a huge victory for my playoff hopes for sure.
Well, on top of that, Rob, you come into this race with Trevor Keith starting on the pole. You had the 22 of Travis Gilbert up front. And then that last-ditch effort by the 66 of Lenz to finish this thing off. You never had this one in the bag. It felt like every restart, something would happen and maybe would take a little, alleviate some of that stress that you had, but it was never a guarantee.
Yeah, that's for sure. It felt like I could never just close it out. Every time I thought something was going to, pretty much seal the deal, we'd get another caution, or I know we had some mix-ups on pit strategy, and there for a while I was short until we got a rash of cautions there. And so if you don't downshift to third, you're saving a lot of fuel. So I'm just trying to manage my gap to second and stay in 4th gear. And TK's giving me all types of pressure. And I don't know, man. I'm glad I can finally relax because I haven't relaxed since since the race began. It was just white knuckle the whole time.
And then finally, my last question here, going into turns 3 and 4 on that white flag, you had the 66 of Carter Lenz, saw you got loose out of turn 2. Was that a block? Was that you just entering turn 3 like you would have? Either way, how did you feel? And I personally think Lenz maybe checked up more than he expected.
Yeah, I don't know. So I took 2 tires there last time that I had pit, and I think they were starting to fall off as we got, just a handful of laps under green finally. and all of a sudden the car was just really tight on the exit of the corners, and it was one of those things where like it pushes, and then it's loose. And so I knew I gave up way too much off of turn 2, but then at that point I knew really the only way he's going to pass me down in 3 and 4 is to just send it to the apron and, run me up the track, or, send it down there and try to clear me, and, whatever. So I went down in the corner and decided I'm taking the apron, and he can do whatever he wants back there. And when I saw he was going in behind me, I knew I was going to get hit. So at that point, I just focused on making sure that when he hit me, the wheel was straight. And it sucks that it took him out. Feel bad for him. He deserved second tonight, but it is what it is, I guess.
Rob Rader, we don't want to take anything away from you. You earned this one tonight. 67 laps led, like I said before, from 15th position. You win here, lock yourself into the round of 8. Congratulations here at New Hampshire. You got Chapman on the side. Anybody else come to mind to put this car in victory lane?
Yeah, big shout out to Chapman Environmental Services. They haven't gotten much representation on or I guess in victory lane lately. So big shout out to them and everything that they do. And Buttkicker as well, all about bugs, Erhardt Homes, Coastal Financial, you guys at V-Speed, Lynn's Heating and Air Conditioning for sponsoring the race tonight. Sucks Lynn's didn't get the finish he should have had, but really appreciate them being on board with us. And my teammates over at EXR for trying to keep me calm there through the last 20 laps when I really needed it. And our little alliance with Performance and those guys, just shout out to everybody involved.
Rob Rader locked in. Move on to Kansas Speedway. We'll see you in a week's time.
Sounds good.
A lot going on in the chat here, Alex. I don't know if you're paying attention to it. A lot of people upset about it, but at the end of the day, we're all here to enjoy the same thing, and that is the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. We appreciate all of you tuning in. I know sometimes Terry likes to stir the pot. Ruth Ann, everybody that comes in and watches these races. And you got a lot of Burns fans in there. We've got a few that root for Tyler Harrison. And then, shout outs to all these drivers. Mike Johnston coming in here, talking about some guys. It's awesome to see the support, and maybe we get on each other's nerves from time to time, but at no point have I felt that the chat was as toxic as Tuesday. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll take a quick commercial break here. You're watching the Chapman Cup Series live on V-Speed. More coverage with the rest of your top 3 and those final race results coming up in just a moment.
Been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Welcome back here to our coverage of New Hampshire in the first round of 12. Rob Rader getting the victory. Trevor Keith with the stage win and a second place. Excellent job by the 15. And Carter Lenz, man, you were saying it there, Alex. We got a feel for him here. But just not what we expected from Lenz, and he ends up finishing 22nd. It's Michael Bennett with a top 3. So the 14, we'll get a post-race interview with him in just a moment. Justin Ritchie, man, up and down day for him. Starting in 13th, I think he was up as high as maybe 7th or 8th, but for the most part was outside the top 10. What a recovery for his day. Jeremy Burns, solid top 5, quiet all race long. Kyle Stewart, another one of those drivers. Started up top, fell to the back of the field, into the race, top 10. Caleb Gilbert, Daniel Holloway, 7th and 8th position. I think this is the biggest recovery of all of them. Grant Thorpe, we were talking about him being, 15 seconds back from the field. He's going to finish top 10. And then it's Travis Gilbert, the guy that had all the success in the first round of the playoffs. Gates by here after being involved in an incident on that last restart for a top 10. So much to unpack here in this final results.
Yeah, there's a lot. Just the race results by themselves tell a story compared to how they were running, say, 10 laps before the checkered. Parker Johnston, who probably hit everything but the pace car here tonight, some by his own attrition, some by just people bouncing off him. The 48 feels like he was in the eye of the storm all night long. Lined up with it. Alex Forget will rally to 12th after a couple of spins off the turn 2. Tyler Harrison, a big get back to get up to 13th here. Matt Robinson, 14th. Kevin Orlando Jr. rounding out the top 15. Michael Reed gets caught up in that late incident with Travis Gilbert. He'll fall to 16th. Brandon Richardson, 17th. Ahead of Dakota Floyd, Dylan Picklesheimer, and Grant Turner rounding out the top 20.
7 more cars to talk about on this results page. Two of your top 12 right here that we're going to talk about. Justice Murphy, tough break for him today, but an even tougher break for Carter Lenz. So 2 of these drivers that are in the top 12, they're going to have to perform next week at Kansas to recover this race. Kyle Diaz, 23rd position for him. And if I remember correctly, Kyle Diaz is also in that top 12. So 3 drivers. Then you have John Fike finishing in 24th. Nick Alves, Christopher Schaefer, and Jacob Sirkovich rounding out your field. Jacob Sirkovich taking an early exit here today. There were still 23 cars on the lead lap and 25 of them still on the racetrack with Nick Alves. Fantastic race, and man, I wish we could have kept the pace that we had at the start of this thing where we ran those first stages. It was about 100 laps, I think, where we had 2 cautions. One of them were a stage, and it seemed like once we grouped this field back up with that late caution, it just all fell apart.
Yeah, it really did. They kind of got stacked up around lap 100, and that's all she wrote as far as that was concerned. They had a lot of caution at the end here, but did also lead to some wild swings throughout the field. So, it went from a very straightforward type of racing to a very chaotic form of racing in a hurry.
I was actually trying to wait on Trevor Keith to get his camera up here for this post-race interview. Doesn't look like he was able to do so, so we're going to go ahead and pull him up here. The first thing I got to ask Trevor, where's the camera at?
I'm doing it right now. I totally forgot.
All right.
I was just like, hey, I did not broadcast the rest of it.
All right, we'll pretend like you weren't here. We're going to send you back down, and then we'll bring you back up.
Okay.
Let's try that again. We put him in the infield care center just so he remembers. All right, Trevor Keith, officially top 3 here tonight. You won the stage. You put it all together. Second place now. I mean, you had a podium either way, but you come into the end of this thing, and did you expect Carter Lenz to go sideways at the end of this race?
Did I expect it? No, but I knew he was going to try something. And I knew if I just hung on to third there's always the chance that, they both wreck each other. You never know. And so I was just trying to get as close to him as I can when they were battling. I knew I probably wasn't going to pass them on speed. They were both faster than me all race. But when I saw Carter get in there, and I was like, oh, Carter might wreck him here. And then I seen Carter sideways, and I couldn't see Rob when Carter was sideways. So I was like, oh, no, I think I'm going to win this race. And then Carter flies up to the wall, and I see Rob just get off the corner. I was like, we'll take second. But overall, I mean, that's the perfect day. We're 12th coming in here, and there's 12 people in the playoffs. So won the stage, finished second. Probably had the most points out of anybody. Couldn't ask for a much better day except for one more spot. So we're happy with that. Kansas next week. We got the Roval again. 2 good racetracks for me. And New Hampshire's never been a good racetrack for me. I've been fast. I've also wrecked a lot of people here. I've been wrecked a lot here. So to come out second and get over those New Hampshire blues, I'll take it any day of the week because me and New Hampshire have not gotten along.
That's why they call it the Magic Mile. We also had, we have to go back, though, to that stage 1. You get the stage 1 victory, and then you see Travis Gilbert come out with 2 tires. He gets out ahead of you. Was it dirty air? Because it seemed like you were just saying, maybe I didn't have the speed that these guys had, but you were up front for the entirety of that stage 1.
Oh, yeah, it was dirty air. I pushed a little too hard at stage 1. You saw me get out to, I think it was 1.5 second lead for that caution. And I was kind of looking, and I was like, I might be pushing a little too hard here. I burned up to the right front a little bit, and towards the end of that run, it showed Carter and Travis were there. But I just kept them in dirty air, and it's tough to pass when you're just barely faster than somebody, and you got to put it in clean air. Search around for grip around this racetrack. That's what I like about this racetrack. You can move around and search for grip and find places. And I felt like Travis just kept running the same line over and over again, so I could predict where he was going to go and put him in the dirty air where he wouldn't get a good run off the corner. And finished out the stage, and I knew Travis was going to take 2, but I knew I pushed too hard, so I needed to take 4 after the stage and kind of back my pace up, and then let the chips fly where they may. If I drop back a little bit, and then maybe I pull back up, kind of like what I did tonight. But Rob and Carter, Carter had fresher tires at the end there, but they both had more pace than I did. I felt like I was pretty on par with Travis. He just had clean air for a while and pulled away. But yeah, I mean, second place, probably third, fourth best car. I mean, we'll take it.
There was a lot to unpack throughout this race, and tires and strategies and flip-flop this and rewrite that. Nonetheless, you come home on the podium. It's nice to see that finally you're not, scraping to get by and just worried about every single race, waiting to the end of the regular season, going into the playoffs. It was just by the skin of the teeth, man.
Yeah, I mean, since the street course, really, I know what I did street course, but still finished third, right? Since then, I mean, the run's been great. I mean, I think I finished outside the top 10 maybe once or twice since then. I've had plenty of chances to win, plenty seconds, plenty thirds, and I think we're on a roll here, and I'd like to keep it going. And two good tracks for me. We got to keep just racing mistake free. When we race mistake free, we get podiums. I mean, it's as simple as that. We have the speed to do it. Eventually, one of these are going to go my way, and I'm going to win one. But right now, we're focused on going to the next round, and that's gaining as many points as possible. And we did that today. Kansas, I've ran really well at before. I love Kansas, my favorite track. Obviously, the Roval's a road course, so we know that. But the league's getting a lot better at road courses, so can't take it lightly. Got to go out there and practice for it, get better at it.
You're not wrong about that. Some of the best finishes we've seen this season all came at a road course. So, Trevor, I know a lot of people put this car on the racetrack tonight. We even had a pit barrel camera just for you, and we did our best to bring the KSX and everybody here. But anybody else you want to shout out while we have you in the booth?
Yeah, we'll shout out the league sponsors, Chapman Environmental Services, Coastal Financial, All About Bugs, Enginuity Power Systems. I think I'm forgetting one. V-Speed as well.
You got Lens Heating and Cooling, or Heating and Air Conditioning, I believe.
Lens Heating and Cooling or Air Conditioning for the sponsor of the race. Appreciate that a lot. I know Carter would have liked to have been up here for that, but either way, he ran a really good race to do jet speed. He's probably going to win a race here. He might win at Kansas or the Oval. Who knows? I think KSX Racing Graphics, getting out there. My teammates, Tyler, Justice, kept my head in it all day, even though I kind of made a mistake with Tyler, but we'll go over that later. But yeah, just an overall great day.
Excellent finish, stage win, second place on the podium. Moving on to Kansas next week. We look forward to seeing you, Trevor.
Yes, sir.
He's going to pet that dog while we go on to our third place finisher. We've got Michael Bennett. Surprise top three here for Michael Bennett. Alex Gagnon is caught up with him.
Hey there, Michael. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, you had, granted, it was an eventful race for a lot of cars in the field, but you in particular as well got caught up in some early stuff. Brought, I think, the first caution, just that car getting a little sideways, got kind of trapped in the back, and were working your way through the field. And then when it mattered most, you were into position to capitalize, bringing home a third place finish here. How was your and what was it like trying to work through the field here, especially with all those cautions at the end?
You cut out there for a second. How was my what?
How was your night as a whole, and how was it trying to cut through all these cars during the cautions at the end of this thing? Because that kind of threw a wrench, I think, in a lot of people's plans here.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. When there was a braking issue there at the beginning, that's when I first spun on the first one, just trying to get used to everybody's braking points, and then got hit by somebody, and then got hit by two other people on the next one. I'll be honest, at that moment, I was like, all right, cool. We're just going to ride around in the back. I guess this is about everything that this night has to offer for me. And just kind of stayed in it. Got real lucky on one of the wrecks I was in that I hit the outside wall head on, and somehow luckily I only had about 47 seconds worth of damage. So caught some lucky breaks. And then at the end, just trying, slowly making progress, getting back up. The cautions definitely helped with that. Then at the end, there was whatever reason, I went back in and I went ahead and took all four tires. So when everybody went back in for their tires, like 2 laps later, I just topped off on fuel, and that's what made up a bunch of my spots there. And then, yeah, man, just just sticking to it, and caught some lucky breaks, guys trying to drive in and get the wins who are playoff drivers, and, just made a couple mistakes. And then I'll be honest, I'm surprised there wasn't a caution thrown when us top four just broke away. I would have swore there would have been a caution right there, but got lucky there. And then Carter went down and tried to, make the winning move on Rob, and Rob blocked it. And I don't know, I haven't watched the replay of it yet, but it looks like he just kind of lost control of his car. And all I thought there was like, man, he's going to go out here and hit this outside wall and come back down and hit me and just take me out of the race. So stayed in it, and yeah, wound up on the podium.
Well, that you did. And, you know, we had a crazy race at New Hampshire last year, a crazy one this year. What is it about this track that leads to some really, dare I say, bizarre finishes throughout the field? Just, you know, last year with the amount of cautions kind of throughout and Burns coming back from 4 laps down, then this year, everything fine and good for, you know, 2/3 of the race, and then the back third of it, everything comes unglued. What is it about New Hampshire that makes it that tricky?
Probably the difference in banking in the first lane compared to the second, third, and fourth lane. You know, we were kind of experimenting with it all night, trying to see what was, you know, gonna work. There's been times I've come here where it's been bottom dominant. There's been times I've come here where it's been top dominant. Um, and tonight it just kind of seemed like, you know, you could use the low bottom or you could use up top, and kind of in the middle was where a lot of people were getting stuck, or at least where I was having trouble with. And yeah, that coming off of 2 and coming off of 4 with that banking right there, it gets real slippery with that transition. And I noticed that's kind of where a lot of the mistakes were happening for a lot of these guys. They were just hitting that transition a little too much, and just spinning it. So it can be a slippery track, and I think that's where a lot of people have problems. But man, I'll tell you, you know, if it keeps producing podiums, we're good with it, man. We like New Hampshire now, you know.
Can't say I blame you. Well, Michael, while you're up here in the booth celebrating this podium, anyone you'd like to shout out here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So first and foremost, my grandma and grandpa in Pennsylvania, man, they watch every single race. She texts me every Wednesday, like, "Oh, I'm so excited. You know, this is where we're going today." She's her and those two sit down and they watch the whole race. You know, they love you guys. It's been awesome. So a huge shout out to them. My cousin Stacy, my aunt Karen, who also watch every race, and then yeah, just everybody in the league, man. Trying to get this back up for real quick so I don't forget anybody. Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Erhardt Homes, Coastal Financial, Chapman Environmental, Buttkicker, All About Bugs, and of course you guys, man. You guys do a great job in here, and we appreciate you showing up every week and putting on such a good broadcast. You know, I know it's extra special when you have people at home who are like, that's kind of their Wednesday thing, is to come and watch us race. And you know, even what was it last week when, you know, you guys kind of hit somebody had something come up or whatever, you still pushed through and did it. I mean, it was just awesome to see, man. You know, they're super tickled about it, and we really appreciate it as a league. So appreciate you guys. And last but not least, shout out to all my teammates at Performance, you know, Alex and Nick, and then the EXR guys we've been kind of teaming up with, you know, Caleb, Rob, and Jeremy, and then our bonus driver, I guess you'd call him Jacob. So they've been a lot of help to me this year, and always learning something new.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Michael, and congrats on the podium here. I mean, it was a fantastic run for you here tonight. Looking forward to potentially talking to you again soon here, and looking forward to seeing you go at it next week at Kansas.
Yeah, let's hope so, man. I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit better, you know?
And us with you. There, I have no doubt about that. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, appreciate you, fellas.
That is Michael Bennett, your third place finisher here today after a very up and down day. He's going to bring it home on the final step of the podium. A great drive for the 14 machine.
Appreciate those kind words as well, Michael Bennett. And, you know, didn't disclose exactly what was going on there, but yeah, like you said, push through it. Life continues, and Bradley Cooper and Alex Gagnon. That's the consistency right now on Wednesday night for everybody. And we've got more racing coming up here, Alex, just a week's time. Excellent.
It's going to be a fun one. One of the best tracks for this car. You know, for all the give and take when it comes to the next gen, there is maybe not a track on the planet that they race at better than where we're going next week. Kansas Speedway, the perfect layout for these next gens. And it's going to be a pretty important race. You know, race two of the round of 12. A lot on the line and a lot of really competitive action, I think, is going to be in store for us.
It's officially fall, October 1st, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The second race of the round of 12, Kansas Speedway. You can catch that here on V-Speed all the way through to the very end at Championship Night at Phoenix Raceway. For Alex Gagnon putting this together with me, and filling in there last week. We appreciate you for that. Adam Baker making this thing look good. Our other co-owners, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook. Our other producers, Logan Threlkeld, Lucas Lyons. This is, well, I guess I could add you to that list as well, Alex. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from New Hampshire. Stay tracking, everybody.